This video is for educational purposes only. For those that really want to see the psychology behind these kinds of interrogations, there is use of strong language and references to graphic and disturbing events. This is for mature audiences only. This Jodi Arias interrogation took place for more than 6 hours, so we've broken it down into a series of 1 hour long segments. That playlist is in the tab to the top right. That should pop up now. To see how Jodi got herself into this situation, we also covered the case, and the link is in the description below. The best thing that you can do to support this channel is to like and subscribe. We have multiple videos each week that consist of various case breakdowns, interrogation highlights, and full interrogations just like this. If that's your sort of thing, we would love to see you in the next one. Enough rambling, let's get into it.
Just remember in the winter, far beneath the bitter snow, lies the seed.
Alright, if you want to go ahead and stand up for me. As I take these cuffs off, just go ahead and put your hands down at the waist, okay? You know, these, especially these types of cuffs, aren't the most comfortable.
I don't think they're really designed for comfort.
Nope, they're not. Okay. You're not going to give us any problems being out of the cuffs.
No.
Really don't look like the type that would.
I don't think it would really be to my benefit anymore.
Go ahead and take your water.
Thanks.
Okay. Today's date is July 16th, and my name is Detective Rachel Blaney, and I'm here with Jodi Arias. Is that how you say your last name? Arias. Okay, I'm sorry. This is just formality, and this is, you know, if I have to, you know, write up a report of what we talked about, at least I know word for word, you know, what you said, and there's no mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's for your own protection or good that
Right.
we record it. And before we go any further, I need to read your Miranda rights again, just to make sure that you understand. You have the right to remain silent. Do you understand?
Yes.
Anything you say may be used against you in court. Do you understand?
Yes.
You have the right to the presence of an attorney before and during any questioning. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you free of charge before any questioning if you want. Do you understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The reason that I wanted to talk with you this morning, there's a couple of reasons actually. I have been privy to the investigation and all of the evidence in this case, and to your conversation with Detective Flores yesterday. And there's really no, let me say this, it's obvious to me that, you know, you're not our typical suspect. You know, you come from a good home, a good family. Your parents obviously care about you. That was evident, you know, when they talked to him yesterday. And you're a bright girl. Probably more intelligent than you were letting on yesterday. And there's no question in my mind or any of the other investigators' mind that you were the person that took Travis's life. But what I need to know, or what I'd like to know, and give you the opportunity to do, is determine whether, you're a cold-blooded, cold-hearted murderer who slaughtered this guy, or are you somebody that got caught up in circumstances and things got out of control? Because I think that is what happened, honestly, in looking at everything and all of the facts and talking to people. I think in every person that anybody could be capable of harming another person. I think it's in our nature, and generally most people suppress that. But I think given the right circumstances and the right time and the right place, anybody could be capable of harming another person. I see that on a regular basis. What I generally see are the cold-hearted, ruthless types. What I don't see very often, Jodi, are people like yourself that are intelligent and spiritual and caring, and so I tend to believe that it was an incident of circumstance, if you will. It looks as if this guy Travis befriended you, you got into this relationship, and it certainly looks to me like he took advantage of your generosity and your kindness. One of the other detectives had described him to you as a player. And I don't think that that's very far off from everything that I've seen. And I don't think there's a woman out there that hasn't been treated badly or taken advantage of by a man like that. And I'm hoping, because you come from a good family and because you have a decent background, I'm hoping that you'll be smart about things and make some choices for yourself to help better your situation. When this hits the news, and it'll go to the media, do you want to be portrayed as that cold-blooded, cold-hearted murderer? Because the media loves that. That's not, that won't be our words or their words when they do a press release, but that's what, the media will take a look at the facts and that's what they'll portray it as. Or do you want to be portrayed as a person that didn't mean to have any of this happen? It just got out of hand and you're remorseful? Which way do you want to go? How do you want to portray yourself? You're a businesswoman, is that correct? Okay. And you have a couple of different businesses going, right? So you're a smart girl, Jodi, smart woman. You got to have a lot on the ball to be, your own businesswoman and balancing everything the way you do, because it sounds like you got a lot going on and a lot of juggling and balancing. You're obviously very organized, well-read.
I would say well-read, but not organized.
Not organized? Why so?
I procrastinate, so papers pile up and things don't get filed on time, and I lose stuff, and then I find it later when I don't need it anymore. When I do need it, I can't find it. So
Okay.
Just general stuff like that.
Well, maybe you're not as organized as I had thought. It's certainly
I
human.
try. I go through these periods where it's like today is devoted to organization, and then I'll get organized, and it'll be that way for a little while, and I'll kind of let it slide, and then I'll have to go back and clean up again.
All right. So I think that the reason you're here is I think that you should have just at least one more shot at the opportunity to do the right thing. You say that you're spiritual, or those are my words, not yours, but that's certainly what I got out of reading everything and looking at everything, that you have some sort of relationship with God, or some sort of deep spirituality, and so did Travis. And it sounds like you cared about what Travis's family thought of him, maybe what they thought of you. I don't know whether you ever met them.
I met his grandmother.
Okay.
Many times.
Were they good people?
Yeah, wonderful. And I didn't meet his family at his services, but I saw some of his sisters, and he talked about them a lot. And he talked about how proud he was of all of his brothers and sisters, because they come from a rough background, but they've all done really well.
Mm-hmm. I would imagine that keeping all of this in, I can only imagine, because I've never been there myself, but I can only imagine that keeping all of this in is just tearing you apart inside. It's not hard to tell that. You have portrayed yourself as being very strong, but you can see it in your eyes, Jodi.
It's not like, it's not that I'm my dad said that Detective Flores told him that I was just cold yesterday. And it's not that I'm cold, I'm just resolute. And it's not that I haven't cried, it's all I've done for the last month.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got to go to work part-time, and at my job I need to be a happy, cheery person. So I've got to suppress all of that and put on an act while I'm on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm going to get any more clients for my business, I've got to be an attractive person in my personality. So it's not like I haven't been grieving him since I heard about him.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have an image. I understand that. You have an image to uphold, and you have to portray, that you're a together, savvy woman, not somebody who's fallen apart. So that's understandable.
I fall apart when people aren't looking, and when it's at night and I go to sleep. Travis always used to call me, not always, but very frequently. So that's the hardest part, is when I go to sleep at night, and if he wasn't calling, then I'd just call him, and sometimes I would just call anyway to just hear his voicemail.
So let me go back to, the choices that you have, because again, there's no doubt in anybody's mind what happened that day. There's no doubt that you were involved that day that Travis died.
Listen, I know that I wasn't involved in Travis's death.
Okay.
And
But what you need to decide is, do you want to be portrayed as that cold-blooded killer?
oh, that's what I was getting at.
Or do you want to be portrayed as somebody that was taken advantage of, and one thing led to another? You thought your relationship was headed in one direction and it wasn't, or I don't know exactly the circumstances because I wasn't there, but I would certainly think that it's to your benefit to appear as this is something that just happened. You didn't plan it. It was it was a heated moment, and you didn't mean to hurt him, because you didn't mean to hurt him, did you?
I've hurt him very much emotionally, and I never meant to hurt him.
Okay.
He said that I hurt him more than the death of his father.
And I believe that. How are you going to come clean with yourself, between you and God, if you can't even, look his family in the face and show remorse? I don't think that you're a bad person. I don't think that you meant any of this to happen. I think that things got out of control and you didn't know what to do and you panicked. And I would certainly like your parents to see that, your friends to see that, instead of the cold-hearted killer that the evidence is screaming to show. And this is, at a certain point, you gotta do what's right. You gotta make things right for yourself, because otherwise it's going to eat inside of you. You're going to be sitting in that cell with all of this churning inside of you, and it's going to eat you up. And just because I'm a cop doesn't mean that I don't care, about humanity and people. I'm not sitting here judging you. I'm trying to help you out. I'm trying to give you a chance to make things right. You know, show the families that you do have some remorse. You know, apologize for the things that you've done if that's what makes you feel better, you know, whatever it is. But when you continue to deny when it's obvious that that's not the case, you appear to be the cold-blooded killer. You know, and the media is going to feed off of that. You know, when this goes to trial, the media's there. It's not kept secret. You know, do you want to be out there and like the O.J. Simpsons? Because nobody felt sorry for him. You know, nobody respected him afterwards, even though he maintained his innocence. How do you want to be portrayed? Do you want to be portrayed as the person that you are, a decent person who's had some tough times and you know, just didn't make the right choices at the time? Or do you want to be portrayed as a person that doesn't care about anybody or anything?
You know, of course I don't want to be portrayed as a cold-blooded murderer.
I believe that. I believe that everybody wants to tell the truth, because to keep that lie in tears you up emotionally, physically, mentally. I see that over and over and over again with people. And I believe that you don't want to be portrayed in the negative light that I've already... And I'm not making that stuff up. I mean, that's just reality, Jodi. That's the way our society works. That's the way this world works. And things are going to start moving real fast here for you. This is kind of a pause, you know, before things, you know, start getting heavy. This is your opportunity to help yourself out. When the jury looks at it, those are the things that they're going to be mulling around in their mind when they decide what type of sentence to hand out, or when they make a recommendation to the judge. Those are the sorts of things that turn a jury. And the juries sometimes can be fickle, but I've never seen a case with so much concrete, hard evidence. We don't need you to tell us anything. I'm doing this for you. Arizona's case goes no matter what. They've got a rock solid case. So what you say is basically irrelevant to their case. Not irrelevant, but it's not going to make it any better for them. But it certainly can help you out.
How can it help me? I mean, how can what I tell you today affect the media?
You take control of the situation as much as you can and paint whatever kind of picture you want to paint of yourself. Nobody's going to believe that you didn't do it after they see the evidence. It's just, it is what it is. But it's a matter of, do you want to take control of your situation and paint the picture of who you are, because you're the only one that knows that? Or do you want the media to take the evidence, all of the facts and the information, and paint their own picture of you? And as smart as you are, you know as well as I do that the media doesn't like to paint warm and fuzzy pictures. They would much rather paint the vicious, cold-blooded killer, because that sells. Am I right? So, do you want to control your situation? Paint your own picture? Or do you want to let somebody else do that for you?
I don't feel like I have any control over what the media says anyway.
Well, you do, to a certain degree. You can have the opportunity to tell your side of the story. You know, was it a matter of, like I said, this guy, Travis, building some sort of, what you thought was some sort of relationship? You know, were you hoping for marriage? Because I've heard a lot of talk about, you know, possibilities of marriage, and I know that is, you know, a cornerstone of your faith is marriage and family. Is this something that you were hoping for? Was he leading you down that path? You know, did he take advantage of you? Were there promises made that were broken? Did he betray your trust in some way? I don't know. Only you know that. But certainly if that was the situation, they would look at you in a better light than if you just went in there and just killed the guy just because you're a cold-hearted person. You know, the reasons why are what's going to give you a better portrayal, a better light that you're portrayed in. That's why the reasons why are so important to you, and that's how you can take control. When you leave, you know, Siskiyou County and go back to Arizona, which eventually you will, whether you fight the extradition or not, that's just kind of
an inevitability.
Yeah, it's going to happen eventually. You're not going to have the opportunity to do this again. And I'm certainly, you know, not going back to Arizona. I won't have the opportunity, and the shot will be gone.
What is your role, though? I mean, you're a detective.
Mm-hmm. This is our jurisdiction. It's our county. So, you know, part of this investigation, if you will, is on us. So I've taken an interest in this case. You know, I saw you and I read all this information, and I'm like, man, you know, she's not the typical person that we see in here.
Can I ask you a couple questions?
Sure.
Not personal questions. I understand they took some of my stuff yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Where does all that go? Does it go to Arizona?
It'll be transferred to Arizona. It's held in evidence. There's a list of everything that was taken, and a copy of that was left at each
location.
At each location.
And it was a carbon copy, so my parents couldn't read it all. My grandparents couldn't read everything. They told me some of the things, and some of the things were like on camera, for example, which is fine. I understand that. My concern is other people. For example, I'm a wedding photographer, and I just did a wedding on Friday, and I feel bad for Brian and his wife Katie because those are their wedding pictures. That's all they have for their wedding, and I just want to know when they'll be able to get their wedding pictures.
I don't know when. I don't know how, you know, this could go on for
That's
quite a while.
the only thing they have to remember the day.
They're not going to destroy the wedding pictures. They're not going to get rid of them or anything like that.
You know, and I just take pride in my work, and I guess, you know, I'm not going to have a chance to edit them and make them really beautiful. Like, they already turned out really good, but, you know, with Photoshop, I just do all kinds of neat effects, and they turn out like magic. And so that won't be the case this time, but at least the hard files are there for them. And, you know, if they're not going to get them forever and ever, it's going to suck for them, but as long as they get them eventually.
They'll get them eventually.
And also
I think that, you know, go ahead.
My sister, I don't know what her problem is. I mean, she's far less messed up than I am, I guess, but she's in a program right now in Klamath Falls for till the end of August, rehabilitating from something. And my mom, we write her, you know, we only get to talk to her once a week, and my mom is going to send pictures, because I have on my external drive, I have a bunch of pictures of her and I that we just were doing this with, just taking pictures of each other on her prom night, because I helped her do her hair, and I helped her, you know, just take pictures, and then I dropped her off, and she just wanted some of those to have. You know, she's all done up glamorous, and she's like, I can't remember what I look like without makeup. And I did a photo shoot with my little brother last week, and they turned out really good, and she wanted those pictures too. She doesn't have access to any of them now. And those are all family treasures. And I did that, of course, because it's for them, and it's, you know. But I would have made her a CD, but my CD-ROM just wasn't working right. And I just didn't get around to making it because I didn't have the proper tools to do it. And she just wants those to mail to Angela.
Well, see, these are the sorts of things that, you know, paint the picture of a good, decent person where things just went a little wrong. You know, you showing so much concern and care.
Do you know what happened to my journals too?
You know, I wasn't there when
I know they said they took one. I don't know if they took my other ones.
Where were your other ones at?
In my fireproof safe.
Okay. I'm not sure. They have a hard copy, you know, an actual copy, an original copy. That
if you want my journals, it documents the entire time starting from when I moved to Arizona up until 2 or 3 days ago.
Where's that safe at? Is that
it's
at your?
Under my bed. They said they looked through it.
Okay. Well, then, if there was anything,
I don't know if they felt it was relevant,
necessary.
but
you know,
I'm sure Travis got a lot of ink in my journals. I don't know. It doesn't matter now because I know you guys think what you think, but
it's not. You know, the job of the detectives, any detective, is to determine, you know, what happened, whether a person, you know, is there evidence that would clear you, evidence that would convict you, etc. We're totally neutral going in, and it's not a matter of, you know, our opinion and what we think. It's a matter of taking a look at all of the evidence and knowing. And, you know, I think you're not grasping the reality of this situation. And hearing, you know, what your concerns are, you should be concerned for yourself right now. You should be fighting for yourself. This is not going to go away anytime soon for you, Jodi. You know, you're a young woman, just starting your life. You had a lot going for you. You should be fighting for yourself right now.
There's really nothing to fight for if I fight. It just makes me look worse.
If you fight,
and if I give you some false confession, that just makes it look just as bad.
No,
so there's really nothing.
We don't want a false confession. That's absolutely not what anybody ever wants, ever. I was just hoping to give you the opportunity to show the world, to show the community, to show the jury, to show Travis's family that you do have a heart, that you do care, that you are a good person. And maybe things went askew that day. I'm giving you scenarios with what happened that day because I wasn't there. I don't know, you know, the emotions that led up to it. There was obviously a lot of emotion. That's very clear. There was a lot of emotion that day in what happened. And so I'm trying, it's kind of like pulling teeth here. I'm trying to give you the opportunity to help yourself. To show the world, to show the community, to show Travis's family that you do have remorse, that you are a good person. And that doesn't benefit me in any way. I get no benefit out of this. You know, my job pays the same whether I'm sitting here or at home, whatever. I was trying to give you that opportunity. And I asked if I could talk to you today to do that. Makes no difference to me, not personally, but it sure can make a difference for you. And you let this eat at you, and it's going to destroy you or change you in a way that you wouldn't want. And it comes a time in somebody's life, there's always pinnacle in somebody's life where you have the opportunity to define who you are. Do you want the murder of Travis to define who you are? Or do you want to take control of that and do it yourself? Everybody makes mistakes, some bigger than others. And I think this is the time in your life. I'm trying to tell you, this is the time, Jodi. This is the time to take control more than you've ever done before. And at least show the people that you love and care about that you have remorse and that you have a heart. Because when they sit there and they see somebody that's just stone cold and saying they didn't do it when it's clear to everybody that you did, that's what they're going to see, as a stone cold person. This is your opportunity to change that. You can't change what happened. You can't go back and undo it. It's a done deal. But hopefully you're smart enough to realize that you can have a little bit of control of how you're portrayed. I don't think that you're a bad person. I don't think that you meant to hurt him. I think that you really cared about him and that you loved him. And that's why there was so much emotion in that day. I'm not sure of the circumstances, the conversations that led up to it. I can only see the result. I think that things got a little heated. You were angry or upset or disappointed, or betrayed, whatever the emotion was, and things got out of control.
We both have betrayed each other, but it was so long ago, you know? The last time we even talked about marriage on a serious level was when we were still dating over a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And the last time he proposed to me once, he proposed to me a lot of times, but he wasn't always serious. He just kind of said it, marry me, as a joke.
And how did that make you feel when he said marry me as a joke? I mean, did you want it?
Not after we had broken up. It was kind of like laughs. Like, it's really kind that he would joke like that. We would laugh, and I took it as a compliment because it's when I did something that maybe in his eyes he saw me as a good person. And so he'd be like, wow, this is a good girl, marry me. But it was more of a compliment. It wasn't a serious proposal. So marriage, as much as I love Travis, I just have always, there's something inside that says he's not the guy you're going to marry.
So then what was it? What was it that led up to all of this? I mean, there's got to be something. So I honestly don't believe that, that you're cold-hearted and you would just go and just, kill somebody on a whim. That doesn't fit your profile. So what was it that led up to that? You tell me. You tell them. You tell, Travis's family. What was it that, pushed you to your limit? I'm just trying to fill in the holes there, and just kind of guessing about the emotions. What was it that would make you, so angry or upset? And if you're smart, you'll realize that, you're not going to get a whole lot of other chances to do this. Probably none. Once the wheels start turning, they move real fast. And you will be out of control then. You won't have control over your destiny, so to speak. What about your spirituality and your beliefs with God? If you continue to lie to yourself and all of us, that's one thing, but God knows. He knows what's in your heart. Doesn't the Mormon religion want want you to repent for what you've done. You know, I'm a spiritual person myself, and I don't think that I would want that, you know, inside of me. I wouldn't want all of the ugliness of the lies inside of me. And I'm not going to sit here all day, you know, and try to convince you to do something for yourself if you're not willing to help yourself. But I just wanted to give you that chance this morning. It's clear, it's crystal clear to anybody who looks at this case. There is no doubt in my mind, there's no doubt in any of the investigators' mind that you are the person responsible for Travis's death. It's just a matter of how do you want to portray yourself now, Jodi? Are you the cold-blooded killer, or are you a victim of circumstance? Was it in the heat of passion, or was it calculated and planned out and executed? Which one is it going to be? That's how you can control things for yourself right now. I don't think you're the type of person that can sit there during a trial and see Travis's family sitting over there and continue to maintain that lie in yourself without it tearing you up.
I don't think I could either.
You have an opportunity. You can't bring him back, you can't bring his life back, but you can at least make things right within yourself. And that ultimately is going to probably help out your situation. Nobody wants to believe, even, you know, your friends, I'm sure. I haven't talked to any of your friends, but I know that your family doesn't want to believe that you're that person. Help them understand what happened and why, so that they're not stuck with that image of you.
The only image they're going to be stuck with is Jodi in a big orange suit.
Yeah, but does Jodi have a heart, or is it cold and ice?
They know it's what my heart is like. They raised me. They've lived around me forever.
How about the rest of the people that just know you as far as an image, that doesn't know you personally? Do you care about that?
I care.
How about Travis's family?
I care very much about Travis's family, and I can't alter the way they think. They hate me regardless.
It's true that their feelings are probably always going to be negative about you. You know, you took their son's life. They can never get over that.
I want to take Travis's life.
It's clear to everybody what happened. But I was hoping that you were smart enough to realize the situation, the reality of the situation, and wanted to help yourself out. Whether you want to maintain the charade, which isn't going to get you anywhere, or whether you want to do the right thing. You're the one that's got to live with yourself, you know. You're the one that's got to look those people in the eye.
I have one more question. It's not that I haven't been listening to what you're saying. It's unrelated. But when I took my purse, I had $240 in cash. And from what I understand, this thing over in the jail, you can have money on your books so that you can get things like shampoo or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I would even need there. But what happens to my cash, my money?
Well, it's, first of all, they count it all out and document it, so there's no question of, what was there. I don't know what the procedure
I know
is.
it's not really, maybe it's not your area or your responsibility, but who do I talk to about that? Because my parents don't have money to just keep doling out and making, collect calls there all the time or whatever, so.
Well, I can certainly talk with the detectives and put in a request for you, and I'll do that. I don't go back on my words. And I don't know how much longer, you want to sit here and listen to me talking, but I was hoping to kind of drill something into your head and wake you up and show you how you can help yourself.
Maybe you're giving me more credit than I deserve for being smart.
I don't think
But
so.
I just don't see how any of that could help.
What if it could? Wouldn't you want to do everything you could to help yourself?
I don't. I think that my situation is hopeless, and I don't think that I can help myself.
Don't be sorry to me.
I'm just sorry.
Are you sorry for what happened to him?
Of course I am. That's awful what happened to him. He
Did you ever
didn't show
think-
me any pictures, but he showed me the carpet.
It was pretty horrific.
Travis was very strong. I watched him work out a couple of times. It's super intense. My dad has worked out all my life. He's been a bodybuilder, sort of, not professional. He's just always been really big. And I've seen him work out, but I've never seen anyone work out like Travis. And he's just, a couple times he was really into UFC, and a couple times he would show me some wrestling moves, and I was just powerless. There's no way out of it.
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to take a break for a couple of minutes. I see you still got some water. I was going to give you some more water.
Yeah, if you could bring one more, that'd be nice.
Take a minute just to think about what I said, and I'll leave you alone while I do that. Jodi, I'm really confused. Maybe I did have a wrong picture of you. You know, all of this time that you and I have been talking, and I got information from your other interview, you are talking about insignificant things at this point. You're talking about money, you're talking about material things, you're talking about everything but...
I'm just talking
You're
about
talking
things
about
that
just
affect the people I care about.
You're talking about everything but how bad you feel about Travis. You only respond to my questions.
If I murdered
Specifically
Travis, I
about
would be
Travis.
very remorseful.
I think that I've gotten the wrong picture of you. I think that, you know, maybe I was wrong. Maybe you are that cold-blooded person that they're trying to portray. And, you know, I'm just really confused. At this point, you know, maybe you're right. Maybe there isn't anything that you can do to help yourself. You know, maybe I was wrong. Maybe you're not as intelligent as I thought you were. Maybe I was wrong. What do you think should happen to the person that murdered Travis?
You know, I've never been one for an eye for an eye, but they took his life, and even the Book of Mormon says that that calls for the life of the person that took his life.
Do you think that's the path that you're going down right now, and it's inevitable, so why fight it?
I'm not sure, kind of, but I'm not sure. I don't know where I'm going.
So, tell me this. After looking at all the evidence, and what I think is crystal clear, if you didn't kill Travis, then who did?
He was private about a lot of aspects of his life.
Mm-hmm.
He told me some things I got from some of his, you know, Facebook account, email account, or MySpace or whatever, because I had the passwords to those. But I don't know, like, occasionally he would get solicitations, and he would always respond, not to answer the solicitation, but to kind of call the person out. And I don't know if anything ever came of those. I don't know. I know his tires were slashed. I don't know.
Maybe you weren't the person that did it. Maybe you just were physically there when it happened and somebody else did it. I mean, I guess, you know, that's a possibility. If that's the case, you know, help us out here. Help yourself out. You know, I don't know what else to do for you here, Jodi. I'm kind of at the end of my rope. You're not going to get a whole lot of people that are trying to help you out along the way beyond this point. If you didn't do it, then who did? Because everything is pointing to you, not just pointing to you, but, you know, screaming that Jodi killed Travis. And I thought that I could come in here and talk to you and talk some, you know, sense into you and get you to, you know, kind of help yourself out. You don't need to help our case out. You don't need to help their case out. That's a slam dunk.
I know, he showed me.
And what I'm hearing is somebody who doesn't give a rip about what happened. I'm hearing somebody that's worried about money, your appearance, everything about you. I don't hear anything about Travis unless you're specifically asked. How do you think that looks?
Listen, I don't care so much
No,
about...
you listen. You are not grasping the reality here, Jodi. you're worried about wedding pictures and, all this other stuff that is really insignificant.
Well, listen, my life is over. Travis's life is over. I'm sorry about Travis. I didn't take his life.
All right, well, I guess I was wrong.
The reason I cared about those other things is because those people still have lives, and I care about those people. And they don't know where their stuff is, I happen to be in possession of their stuff, and so.
All I know is all of the innocent people that I've talked to that have been accused of a crime don't act the way that you do. And you are acting like the person that I portrayed, the ugly, cold-blooded murderer, one of the options that I portrayed. That is how you're acting. There is nothing in your actions that would indicate to me that you're the victim of circumstance. And you're going to be sorry, when you get down the road, and
I agree.
You'll probably be sorry that you didn't do the right thing. You have an opportunity to do something right here. I don't know what to tell you. Show me that I wasn't wrong, Jodi. Show me what's inside your heart and not what's on the exterior. Help me understand why it happened and that it wasn't cold and calculated and planned. Because that's how everything points right now. You owe that at least to Travis's family. Give them some closure. Because I know, just from working with all these families that have lost loved ones, that they're not struggling with who did it, they're struggling with why.
That's what I've been struggling with.
Do you not understand why you did it yourself, maybe? Is it something that, is it a part of you that came forth that you've never seen before? I don't know. I know Travis's family is struggling with why, and that would be the one thing that would give them closure. They may never like you, but I think that they would be appreciative of why their son's life was taken. You can't give them their son back, but you can at least give them the peace of mind as to why. I know if it was my child, that's what I would want. And I know that you're not a mother, but all women have those mothering instincts within them, and I think that you can understand that, what I'm saying. And that's why you're hanging your head right now. Was I off base, Jodi?
imagine what it would be like to lose one of my brothers.
Wouldn't you want to know why you lost one of your brothers?
Yeah.
I've never met them. I can't speak for them, but I would bet, you know, my paycheck, that's what they're wondering right now. And you can at least show that you have a soul, that you have a heart, that you understand that need in them, and do something for somebody else besides yourself.
Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to support my channel, there's some great links below. The best thing you can do is like and subscribe. We will see you next time.